Yo, this your boy EC22, and this is the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Once again, man, we just want to say thank you guys for just constantly tuning in and watching these videos, man. And before we go any further, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments. But most of all, join the conversation in the house. Here we got a round of hosts and guests today. Starting out, we got a Simba in the house. We got Coach D-Way. We got JP. We got my boy Bobby B. And then we got always J-Dub. What's going on, fellas?
Good, man.
All right. But let's talk to the new guys. JP, how you feeling over there, man?
I'm feeling great. Basketball team is still in it. Hockey team is out, but it's not a bad time for Minnesota sports. So still feeling good.
That's what's up. Bobby, how you feeling, my man?
I'm doing well, man. How you guys doing? Hey, thanks for
we are here. No problem, man. All right then, J-Dub.
What's up, big dog?
Chilling, man.
Man. Another day above ground, man. It's a good day.
We're gonna talk to you.
Just enjoying the sports that's on right now.
We're gonna talk to you about that hat.
Game just started, son. Game just started. It's on in the background.
Yep.
Yo, man. I just want we kind of was talking about in the green room earlier, man, about that the idea that WNBA had about letting Brazil play Indiana. I get it, but man, wow, is that what people want to see? They got all these people coming to Iowa to watch this game. They sold the game at the whole arena out in 46 minutes. They got all these people to come to watch that game, and it was a beat down, say the least. So I was like,
But there was also but Eric, let's not forget there was a Sky Brazil game in Baton Rouge to celebrate Angel Reese. So Brazil been here for a week now.
Really, that was
going city to city, getting beat down. I mean, but they're still here spreading their sport around too.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to get a little bit of more but notoriety or whatever they want to get. Try to bring.
I bet they got some 6-foot+ Brazilians down there that are trying to make their way into the league.
Oh, absolutely. You know they do, right? Well, they do got some in the league. I know one of the young ladies played for for Indiana, but she was out due to a family death or something like that. Camille Cardoza, the young lady from South Carolina who plays with Chicago,
right?
She plays on the Brazilian national team, so that's how it is, man. But y'all WNBA is getting started. All these players signed a 1-year contract because they know next year they're about to be in the collective. So that's about to be exciting to see how much money they're gonna throw into this situation here. So that's crazy. So that is what it is. I love it. JP, let's go ahead and start with you first, man. I'm looking at these stars, man. I know that's not the only NHL team, but that's what we're fans of, right? But NHL, man, we're talking about the playoffs. So who do you like coming out of this year's playoffs?
I mean, it was really an exciting round one. People are saying it's one of the most exciting in a long time. I don't know if you guys were watching Game 7 of the Jets Blues, scoring in the last couple seconds to force overtime, goes double overtime, and they get the win there.
Wow.
I think I don't know about the Stars. I still like them against Winnipeg, but remains to be seen. I'm by no means a Stars fan.
No.
but I think I still think Vegas is probably the best team in the West. And then in the East, Leafs are already up 1-0.
Yeah.
You could tell me that the Leafs win. It wouldn't surprise me, I guess, but I don't know. They're still the Leafs, so the Leafs are going to Leafs eventually. Could be Vegas versus the Capitals in the finals. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, I guess.
So you said you're looking for Vegas and the Capitals. That's what who won it last year? Didn't Vegas win it last year? Don't get me lying.
I think so. I think Vegas won it last year. And it'd be nice to see the Capitals. It'd be nice to see Ovechkin as much as we can until he retires.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we here in the Metroplex, we're gonna always root for the Stars. I know that's the worst that can happen to you, JP, for the Stars to get in, but it's okay. I'm not even mad at you. We're FairWeather fans. So if another team jump on, we will jump. At least I will.
We'll root for them too.
Yeah.
No Stars.
Right now, the Capitals and the Hurricanes are just now getting started. So we're gonna be watching this game. We have this thing pulled up, the Capital and the Hurricanes. So wow. Now that's just crazy. Yeah. I missed the first round. I saw the Stars got it done, but then I just kind of got it a little bit off on that. Real quick before we jump into the NBA, D-Way, what you thinking about baseball so far?
Man, it's been good. We got to go a couple weeks ago. In fact, that's where I got to catch up with my buddy Bobby and got to sit at a really cool suite, and that was a good time. And man, you forget how if you guys haven't been to a Rangers game at this new park, you are missing. It is a treat, dude. I mean, any seat in the house, you feel like you're sitting in your living room with your feet propped up in the air conditioning, and you almost forget there's a baseball game going on. But the Rangers got off to a good start, and pitching's been really good. The bats got a little bit quiet, but now they're starting to make a little bit of a comeback. And they opened up in Boston tonight. We got Nathan Eovaldi pitching, who's my favorite Ranger pitcher, so I'm excited about that. But yeah, it's off to a good start. I want to back up also. I got to get out to the Byron Nelson this past weekend and with my beautiful wife. And I tell you what, guys, I remember back in the good old days when Tiger Woods was 100 miles ahead of everybody else, and now Scotty Scheffler is doing his own thing, and everybody else is just trying to catch him. They never could catch Tiger, and now they're all trying to catch Scotty. I mean, guys, let me tell you something. I know some of you guys are golfers. A professional golfer finishes a 4-day tournament 31 under par. Dude, that's sick. You can't even compute that. Okay? That's nuts. Okay? So, so golf is in full swing and going good. And, but no, I'm super excited about, obviously this NBA deal is getting ready to get butt wild, man, so.
But wait a minute. But Scotty's built different in general, right? The man gets arrested and still goes and wins a tournament. That's different DNA for whoever can do that in whatever sport.
Yeah,
that's Kobe Bryant DNA right there.
No, 100%. Yeah, and
I'm sorry. That's funny.
Listen, that's hard to do in a mental game. I just want to say you were getting processed 2 hours ago, and I'm teeing off on the first box right now.
Well, yeah, bro. You act like you might know a little something.
He's different. That's all I'm saying. That man is a different beast.
Yeah, it's a different motivation. Yeah, to do that. Oh wow! But he's never won a Grand Slam though.
No.
Well, he's still young. He's still young. But,
yeah.
But here's the biggest difference between Tiger Woods and Scotty Scheffler. Tiger Woods is one of the best athletes ever.
Mm-hmm.
He could play quarterback and back if he would have wanted to. He could have played, the 2 guard if he'd have wanted to. He could have played shortstop if he'd have wanted to. Scotty Scheffler's not that cat. Okay?
No, he's not.
So that's the biggest difference.
We need to put a APB out on Jordan Spieth. Where is he?
Man, they're having babies, man. They're having babies.
Bobby, have you seen him? Has he came by your house, Bobby? We need to find out where he's
been having babies. So, that may be we can't find him right now.
Yeah. But kind of before we throw it over to Simba, before we get heavy deep into the NBA, I want to let Bobby, because Bobby is the epitome of the Mavs, true that, genuine, wholehearted Mavs fan for life.
For life.
He's obnoxiously over the top into it, and so I just want Bobby. I want you to take just a minute and a half or so and kind of give us your assessment of where the Mavericks finished, the direction you think they're going for next year, and just the overall vibe of that team right now, if you will, please.
Hey, David Wayne, appreciate that intro. Thanks for putting that pressure on me, but let's do it. Hey, Mavs fans for life, man. So no matter what, the biggest topic around here across the NBA was the big trade. So I'm just backing up a way to show you how much love I still have for the Mavericks. You know what I mean? But we still discussed that at the game, matter of fact. But he's one of the few that I think kind of see eye to eye. We're not agreeing with the trade, but I think Nico really did a great job of putting this team together. He didn't get a lot of props for going out and getting Gafford and PJ Washington at the get-go. It was frowned upon because we didn't make that big splash, signing, so to speak. But I've been a Mavs fan for a long time, man. So I've seen the very lows in the '90s, and just to see that we're competing every year. I love my boy Luka. I still love the dude, but honestly, we was missing a 4, which was Maxi Kleber. Granted, I love Luka, but a healthy AD is a bad dude, and so I think that was honestly the missing piece that we had. Again, I like Luka, but you know, I think a lot of people talk about AD's health. I'm a Mavs fan, but I couldn't always count on Luka being healthy all the time either. And it's either calf muscle he can't make. Come on, let's be real. I love it, but there were some frustrations there. But going forward, I think a healthy team is going to be a competitive team, no matter what. And honestly, that's what I look for in my teams, just to give us an opportunity to compete. So I'm past the surprise of Luka being traded, but hey, let's go Mavericks. That's the way I look at the future.
Hey, Bobby, two things I want to throw at you real quick. The first one is okay. Like you said, you're past it, right? You're past the initial shock. He's gone. He ain't coming back. Well, we never say never, right?
Absolutely.
The treatment that Nico Harris has been getting and still getting from the fan base, and now it seems like it's creeping into the NBA, and now the media has taken over it now. Yeah, I watched Stephen A. Smith and Charles Barkley give their spin on it after they've been silent this whole time. Is this fair treatment, unfair treatment that he's receiving?
I think you're talking about from the national media or just
everybody. Well, yeah, everybody, media, national media.
I would start with our fan base at first, and I'm definitely not the spokesperson for the fan base, but from multiple persons that I speak to, I think, like I say, everyone was surprised. But I think the overall sentiment is that they forget this guy still built a team around Luka, if you want to say that made him competitive, a better competitor with some of his faults that myself, find problems with playing defense. Sometimes you had 5-on-4 because he's blinding on the back end. You know what I mean? Right. Granted, sometimes I question his shot selection. Okay, right. You know what I mean? You can hit the big shot, but is it time for that to happen?
Absolutely.
If you're going to be a leader, I think you got to set yourself as a leader. You can't play the game and expect to be at the top when as you advance in the playoffs. The competition gets better. They know your faults, so if they know they can aggravate you, you're not going to play that 100% defense, even though you're not a great defensive player. All we're asking for is a little effort. So on that take, that was my complaint while Luka was here, while we were winning, not when we lost the game. I said, oh man, Luka didn't. No, I'm complaining. David Wayne can attest to this. I was saying this while we were winning. You know what I mean? The faults. So with Nico, as I see him, he recognized weakness on the team that we had. And I honestly believe if a healthy AD or healthy players were on this team, we've been a more competitive, complete team. Because there were only a few things missing. Now, on the flip side of that, when you come to the national media, when Luka was on this team, my feelings were they didn't give Luka the love to show he was that person. But when he goes to LA, now he's Luka the Don, national, which I didn't feel like the Lakers had enough, because I seen Luka here in Dallas where the Lakers needed more than that. So I think the sentiment has been since that the Lakers were, didn't get past this round. They kind of looked at it. They say, well, Nico may have had a little insight of this. This is not the guy for what they need right now, which I think is kind of lesser now. And I think before you see the guys in that trade in the review mirror, it's going to get easier to digest that.
Hopefully, yeah.
So I want to hear, because J-Dub and I just talked about this, and I want to hear J-Dub's take. I want to hear Simba's take. And that
real quick, Simba. So I want to ask you a specific question. Now, you got a chance to watch Luka play for the Mavericks, and you got a chance to watch him play for the Lakers. Just from your eyes on it, which team do you think he's a better fit for?
I think he was a better fit for the Mavericks for the simple fact that they had a better defense around him to protect him in the paint. The Lakers don't have a big. They have Jackson Hayes. Like, come on. Like, no shade to Jackson Hayes.
Rui Hachimura.
Yeah, like they're not rim protectors.
Yeah.
And also they on the offensive end, he had someone who's extremely dynamic when it comes to scoring with Kyrie Irving. Like they don't have that in Los Angeles. Like they have Austin Reeves who can play off the catch, but like Austin Reeves, Kyrie Irving, come on, there's levels to it.
Right.
So that's just another thing that I noticed from the basketball standpoint. Like he can't hide in LA. Like he has to play defense. And Bobby, we're making great points all along about Luka's defense, and I agree. Even while they were winning, I was like, that's not a recipe for a championship. No matter what,
Right.
even if they made it to the finals, it's not a recipe for a championship. If your best player can't defend, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be a lockdown defender. You just have to be able to stay in front of your man at least one or two dribbles to allow the help to be there in place. And Luka doesn't seem to be able to do that. And I don't even think it's in Dallas or LA. I don't think there's a situation on all 30 teams that he can play on and that be a recipe for a championship. Like you have to play defense. Like no matter how many points you score, if they can come down on the court and say, if all else fails, we attack him, you lost. Like you have no chance.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
I think
J-Dub,
make some adjustments in his health and all that.
Can I
I'm
just pick
sorry,
it back up that right quick?
Go ahead.
One thing, since you've seen him up close and personal from the LA perspective, the fact that the few games that he was there, David, maybe you can attest to this. Didn't you see effort for almost 3.5 quarters where we never got that in Dallas? And it kind of goes back to, this is what we were asking you to do in Dallas, to give us an effort. But then as he continued to play, it kind of decreased. He went back to his old ways. He started lacking on defense. And that goes back to say, I think Nico is right from that perspective that we got to have 4 quarters out of you, at least for an effort. You don't have to be a lockdown defender. Just give us a little effort and less complaining and get back on.
Send him a stern direction. Send him left every time so we can be ready for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but Jonathan G, if you're still watching, comment, because Hoop Social throughout this comment about Luka being a bottom 30 defender in the league, the worst superstar defender of all time. And Jonathan G, you always talk about how the league is moving towards the more international superstar. So I want you to chime in, because you've been talking about it. We these last couple of MVPs has been MVPs. Thus, the lack of defense hurt Luka chance for ever being an MVP in this league. All right, go ahead, D-Way. I want to find out, and J-Dub and I, we touched on this a day or two ago, and I want to hear JP's and Simba's take on it too, and of course Bobby. But y'all tell me y'all's take on this. I'm going to make a blanket statement here. The Mavericks moving forward, especially next year, are only going to be as good as Kyrie's health will allow them to be. Okay, so take the floor, J-Dub, on that.
Well, I mean, listen, there was a lot to unpack. I think everybody is speaking truth. The only question I had is, we kept saying if Anthony Davis gets healthy, have we ever seen a healthy Anthony Davis? I guess that was my biggest gripe, is that we traded a generational star potential, right? He still got years to go, for a guy who can't make it through an 80-game season. Luka needs to play D. I've been saying that too, even last year when he took us to the championship. So I appreciate Simba for saying that, but you can't hide a bad defender forever. Even Steph plays some on-ball defense, and he's not considered a great defender. But I think, man, as big a Kyrie fan as I am, and I am a ginormous Kyrie fan, it is hard to bounce back from an ACL/Achilles injury in your 30s. I'm old. I sleep wrong. I can't move my left hand for hours. And he just had surgery, and he's finna try to come back and still have his bag and still be able to go to his quickness. You got an aging AD, and you got an aging Kyrie, and you got some great defensive players. It's time It's time to start looking for Giannis. It's time to start looking for one of those guys who's unsettled
don't be teasing me, bro. Don't tease me.
In their current situation, their current team is. I'm not saying Giannis. Somebody who's in a current situation who their current team isn't putting pieces around him because Dallas is full of pieces with nobody to lead the show, in my opinion.
JP, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think. I mean, you are only as good as your worst defender in the NBA sometimes, especially in the playoffs. Just like J-Dub said, you can go far even with Luka, like the Mavs did last year, but there's going to come a point in time where he has to play defense, and he's going to do his whining as he goes around him.
The whining's got to stop, man. The whining's got to stop.
It's gotten
not,
worse.
so I don't know what y'all are saying.
It's gotten
the
worse.
Two biggest whiners are on the same team.
Yeah, I mean, Luka's whining, stopping is about like saying Luka's going to start playing defense next year. Okay, like, what ain't going to happen?
I thought watching Minnesota against the Lakers this year, Luka's defense was actually worse than it was with the Mavericks. And it was because he wasn't getting bailed out by the other defenders on the Mavs anymore because the Lakers don't have them.
Yeah.
So I think obviously the Mavericks have to make a move for something. What that something is, it's hard to say right now. But we could look back in a couple of years and be saying, well, Nico was right. I've just started saying that now to piss off some Mavs fans. But that's I hope Nico is right. Because it'd be very funny. I've been very against Luka from the start.
And so I have a quick question because I can't remember. Somebody who's smarter than me can answer. Was Nico the GM when we lost Jalen Brunson?
No.
It was right there. It was the next year, as the year before. I know they were happening right there beside each other. Okay.
So let me take a stab at this. No, go ahead, Simon. You go ahead and take a stab.
I was just going to say, Sim. I mean, you got to play college ball, and you've been around injuries. How bad is that? How bad is that Kyrie injury, and how realistic at his age can he come back and be the same guy? Before you tell us the rest of your Maverick stuff.
I think it's a lot different nowadays than it used to be for like injuries. I think the technology and the medical awareness of the doctors and people like that is just way higher now to where like they have the technology to make the recovery a lot faster and smoother for athletes. But I think age plays a factor. One, his ability to recover fast with age is gonna play a factor. And the second thing with players like Kyrie Irving, it's a little bit harder for them to return to their original form because of the fast twitch muscles that they're using to get their moves off. The quick decisions that they're gonna have to make, can his ankle touch the ground? A Kyrie, he'll drag dribble, his ankles will be on the ground. Like, is he still gonna be able to do that when he returns in January, as we're saying? So I think all of those things will play a factor in him being the best version of himself for the Mavericks. I still do think that they need another PG or a wing in order to make like enough noise to beat all the other teams that have switchable wing defenders. But I think Kyrie, we'll just have to wait and see, because can he bounce back from the ACL? We'll see.
Okay.
So no, to answer that question, no. Everything is not going to depend on Kyrie Irving making his team, right? Obviously, he's a part of your team, and he's a superstar in his own right. You want him on your squad, right? But if everybody saw what we all saw when Kyrie went out and the team, this was a good team. Getting rid of Luka felt like it was the end of the world. When you look at people like Najee Harris and getting PJ Washington back, like these guys are playing, and then listen, the freedom to play within their own scheme, right? When you get Luka there, everything's got to run through Luka. You get Luka away, now everybody's playing the way they need to play, and kudos to Jason Kidd, right? To get these guys to play. So Jonathan G, he posted a comment. He said, every time Dallas fans believe the only fix is to go get us the best player in the league, they need to just stay healthy. Most important for the Mavs, and I agree with that. You can go out there and get a player, but you don't have to go out and grab a superstar player, right? Just get another piece of the puzzle, but stay healthy. We knew that if we had PJ, remember we had PJ out, Derek Lively out, Gafford out, and Anthony Davis out. We had all our bigs out, and we still was able to get to a play-in situation. So imagine if we add all those pieces at the exact same time healthy. Oh man, And as soon as we get those pieces, Kyrie go out, right? So if the Mavs can stay healthy, this team is going to be it's going to be balling out of control. Hoop Social says, well, there you go.
Not only that, when Kyrie went out, you remember Williams came in. It looked like a totally different team because we had a true point guard in that situation. Absolutely. What the man is just saying, if we're healthy, we're a better team overall. So I don't think we have to go out and get that superstar just yet. Let's let this team gel a little bit, because you remember, I don't know how many lineups we had, but we were competitive in every game. My shout out to Jason Kidd goes, I echo the same, because he done a awesome job with what he had in hand. So I'm totally in agreement with that.
And Bobby, none of us even mentioned. I mean, who can forget that was it the last game or game 4 last that Klay Thompson, and that playing game, he was old. He was old back in the day, Klay Thompson.
Yeah. I think I saw you take up, but
man,
is that the same injury that Peterson had when he was in football? He came back and I can't remember how many yards he was running after that injury when he came back. Where it was
2097.
Was it 97? So everything has advanced since that time.
JP's a Viking, diehard Viking.
I was 12 years old. It was awesome.
I was like, wow, okay, yeah. So I'm hoping Kyrie will come back just, half the personnel, because I think that's what we're missing with this squad right now.
Yeah.
Is a point guard to run the team, because we really don't have that, and I think we got exposed during the games when we need a point guard to slow it down, and B. Will wasn't able to play, but when he did play, it was a different vibe from the team, and they were actually competitive in games that he played in. So I'm still excited about next year. When you guys come back healthy, I know we'll be older, but I just like the idea of these guys possibly gelling together. So.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I got one last question I'm gonna throw out there to J-Dub for the Mavericks. We went to the finals last year, the Dallas Mavs, and this year they the team we went to got knocked out first round. Is this sweet poetic justice for the Mavs fan?
But yeah, it's sweet poetic justice for the Mavs fans and for all of us that were still trying to swallow it. Last year was weird though, because since Minnesota knocked out Denver, who was the favorite, and then they collapsed in the Western Conference Finals, they made it. And I'm not taking anything away from them, but they didn't have a march through, the playoffs like Dirk had in 2011, right, where they had to play, 8 MVPs or whatever it ended up being. So I think this year was nice for us all, especially because, they got these 2 big superstars that whine and complain. And I don't think any of us listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I couldn't have made it through a May, June filled with LeBron and Luka complaining about every single call. I don't think I'd have made it. I would have turned it off. I wouldn't have kept watching. I can promise you that. So they lost last year, but we need to remember Boston only lost 3 games in the whole playoffs last year. That was Jalen's coming to the table party and Jason finally getting the credit that he needed, yada, yada, yada. So last year was a fluke and this year was justice. So, it all works out eventually. It all works out eventually. I don't think the Mavericks make the playoffs next year. I'm going to say that right now.
Ooh,
wow.
Lakers losing with sweet chin music.
I don't like it, but I don't think they're going to make it.
All right, then let's talk about what we seen first. Well, obviously second round. We're here in the second round, but Lakers lose. Who else loses the playoff? Let me go back.
The Lakers are out. The Clippers are out. The Bucks are out.
The Heat are out.
The Heat are out. The Magic are out.
Well, so we knew the Heat was going to lose, right? They got straight up beat down by Cleveland, so that was just.
Well, they shouldn't have been in there to begin with.
Yeah,
no
yeah. But I did not expect the Clippers to lose this game, to lose this series, and I don't think anybody did. That was complete. Hold up, who said that?
I did too. Thank you, Simba. Have y'all ever seen James Harden play in the playoffs? I'm done.
Because they got James Harden on their team. That's why they.
No, man. That's what I'm saying.
Come on, Bobby. Bobby,
if it's a close,
man. Come on, Bobby, laugh, man.
I'm kind of in agreement with that.
Hey, man. Hey, Simba just call it like it is, man.
like that. I
Straight
like that.
Like if that man's in the closeout game, he's gonna fold every time.
He's gonna lose.
Wow.
He's not gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man.
talking about a guy who went 2 for 8 in a closeout game. Like,
No. Had 7
on.
points in game 7. That was ridiculous. And you're a superstar. Come on. You need to take your 5 head and go home and find a fishing pole.
You know, I'm tired of people putting him in, like, I know he's a great player. He's all-time great for sure. But we need to stop putting him in like this other category. He's not in that category at all anymore, because this guy chooses when he wants to show up. He plays okay defense. He dribbles the air out the ball. It's just pointless for him to be
Keep going. I want to hear more. I want to hear some more.
JP, what's your assessment on James Harden, man?
All-time great regular season player.
Give him
He had a
the
triple
MVP.
step back and no handshake.
Very nice that he and the
I ain't
Rockets
listening.
both went
I ain't
out
listening.
in round 1. Very nice tribute there.
JP, speaking about the Rockets, a number 2 seed lose to Golden State. Obviously, Golden State is that team. Golden State had a 3-1 lead. They came back and barely won it in Game 7. What's to say about that young Houston squad over there with Coach Udoka over there? I mean, you think they're going to be bringing it back next year, or you think they need to make some changes on this roster?
I mean, they're still so young. They're gonna have time to gel, and they're gonna probably run back most of the same squad again. I'm sure most of those fans, I follow a couple of them on Twitter, and they're not very happy, and they want to sell everyone. But I think you give it some time, and they'll find their way back. They'll figure out how to not go 0 for a million in a Game 7 eventually, and they'll find a way next year, maybe. Hopefully not. I don't like them either.
Eve, before you move, Jada brought something to my attention. I think it was this morning or maybe last night. Do you know, and I didn't know this, and Bobby, you might find this interesting, but in the West, and Jay helped me with this, the teams that were 2 through what, Jay, 8?
2 through 7 were separated by 4 games, I think.
Mm-hmm.
2 through 7. So it's not like that's some big upset or some big, that whole bunch, they were just separated by a game or so.
Yeah.
You know, and we're talking about a shot goes in here, a bucket goes in here, you get one stop here, and that could have been flip-flopped, you know?
Yeah.
And that's how crazy, how tight, how competitive the West is.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Bobby, speaking on Houston, just wanted to get your 2 cents on this. Was that all experience? You're talking about 4-time, 5-time champion Golden State Warriors versus this team has never been there before. I don't think anybody on that squad has been there besides, nobody. Udoka has been when he played with the Spurs, but there's nobody.
Yeah, I think I think it's experience, and like someone said earlier, you got a lot of you guys to gel together. They're a young team. I mean, you can tell they're on the up. They're coming
Absolutely.
up. Yeah. Those one of those things I wish I could say about my Mavericks, but like J-Dub was talking about the age, we're going downhill where these guys are elevating themselves. And you got some young talent on that team, and I believe you have the right coach in the position right now.
Mm-hmm.
If they allow this to marinate a little bit, I think the fan base will be happy. But, we've been there before where we want that instant gratification of like, we should be there. But you're also talking about a Golden State team that has been there and they've seen this fight before, which I applaud Houston for where they were. Man, they turned this franchise around rather quickly to be competitive as they are. So I do chop it up as an experience, but I think that's just the growing pains we all have to go through. Even the Mavericks, when we were going through it, we had some tough losses in the playoffs before we got that championship. And at that time, I was happy with one championship. I'm like, this was the last 25, But
that first one's a monster.
Yeah, it's a monster. So, just to get there, you see the monster, like, well, can I overcome? And I think with that plays through your head when you're a young squad, you're at home, the pressure is on you, and you, not that you overachieve, but guys, y'all, man, you kind of advance at a fast pace, and no one's going to hand this championship to you. So I think you have to go through that process.
Yeah.
That's my take on that.
That's good. That's good.
Hey, JP, should Giannis, because the whole talk now that Giannis may be searching for another team, should he stay in Milwaukee, or what do you think? He should be on the market?
I mean, it kind of depends on what he wants to do, right? If he's looking for trying to stay loyal to who took a chance on him and he wants to try and put a team around Milwaukee, then he should do that. But I think if he really wants to win another championship or win another championship, win
Another.
one? Yeah.
So D-Way, you shake your head. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, JP.
Yeah, go ahead, JP. Finish up, bud.
Yeah, I think if he wants to win another championship, his best bet is going elsewhere. And I don't think he can win another one in Milwaukee unless they really switch things up.
Yeah, well, number one, loyalty's out the window. Okay, that's not okay. This is
speaking from a man of God. That's a believer talking.
Yeah. Number two, the Milwaukee winning another championship. That's it. That ship has sailed, bro. Okay.
Good.
Giannis, man, would he'd be a good fit in Houston, man. Woo!
Man, that would be so unfair.
I got that from J-Dub. I didn't get that on my own. You know,
I just don't know about that though, because they would have to give up everybody that they have.
That's the question right there. Who do you have to give up to get him?
I think Houston needs a scorer more than they need Giannis. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like their struggle is that like they have no one who can just get a bucket. Like,
come on, if Thompson can, that kid is special. They need to build that squad around him.
He's not a pull-up three shooter, and you need a pull-up three shooter in the playoffs. Like you need someone who can make a pull-up three, and I feel like they don't have a wing that could do that. Jalen Green is supposed to be that guy, and he's just not performing like that. And Fred VanVleet's just too small to be able to do that consistently throughout 7 games. And I don't know. I think they just need a scorer more than anything. I feel like they have everything else, but they need a scorer, like just straight bucket getter.
Who's the tall?
So if Jalen improves as much as I agree with you, 1,000%. But if he keeps improving at the rate he has been improving, he could be that guy next year. I mean, this was only his 3rd year in the league. Is that right? 3rd or 4th?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah. Okay. So
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green.
Oh,
So he's big enough. He's tall enough. He's athletic enough. He needs to do some off-season work. I agree with you, but they need that guy. They definitely need a scorer.
I feel like he's tall enough. He's not big enough, though.
Right.
I don't think he's
6'4",
big enough.
220, isn't he?
I think he needs to get bit. Like not. He
No,
might
he
not
ain't
need
that
to get
big.
bigger, but he might need to get stronger.
Yeah.
I got you.
He doesn't have he doesn't have that imposing will that like defenders are like, oh, let me get out the way. He's athletic.
Right.
Getting to the rim is a struggle because people just body him up. So,
Well, when I look at this Houston squad, everything that we're saying, the pieces that they're missing, this team still is number 2 seed in the toughest conference.
And 4 years ago, they were in the bottom 4.
Right.
In 2021, the last time I caught a Houston game, they were at the bottom of the league.
Yeah.
So we know they're not a good 3-point shooting team. We know they shoot better, but you talking about has Ime Udoka done an excellent job with this squad.
Phenomenal.
So when we start talking about they're not but a few pieces off. You know what I'm saying? And I'm agree with you, Simba. They do need a couple spot up shooters. They can get some of them guys that can just sit in the wing and jack up threes. That's great. I thought that's what Cam Whitmore was going to be. I'm still waiting to see them bring his game in. He get in and off, and he just. That class has just been MIA that he came out of. It's just been MIA. That was probably one of the worst. It was the most exciting draft class that I love because we had a lot of them kids coming from the Dallas Metroplex getting into the league, but then they all just fell off. So, I don't know.
Cam's young too, though. Cam's young too. This is a young squad. Don't be counting them out after their first big run.
Hey, I'm not gonna do it.
So Edith, you want to get into the matchups right now?
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Let's get into the matches right now.
So in the West, we've got Denver and OKC. Denver stole one last night.
Yeah.
And then we've got Golden State and the Timberwolves, and they play tonight. And then in the East, and then everybody can chime in. Then in the East, we've got Indiana and Cleveland. Indiana stole one the other night. And then the Knicks did their thing last night in the Garden, man, and they got one. And so that we got 4 really good series, guys. And before we get into it, I got to give a shout out to my man Z-Man because he and I in total disagreement about who we think's going to win what series and everything. He's telling me that OKC, Minnesota's going to get beat and all that stuff. I said, man, Minnesota's going to run Golden State out of the gym, man. This thing's all said and done. So Z-Man, I gave you a shout out, bro. But we're gonna catch up.
So Coach D-Wade, when you say that Minnesota's going to, so go ahead and what are you looking at when you say that about?
Okay,
Minnesota?
so love Golden State's one of my favorite teams. Okay, Steph's one of my favorite players of all time. This Minnesota team, I'm gonna steal some of J-Dub's, is the up and coming team to take. It's time for them to take their place in the West, to be the team, and to be the team everybody's shooting to beat. And it should happen this year. Minnesota, I'm going to go on record right now and say Minnesota's going to win the West, and then everybody else can chime in. And then the freaking East is, who knows, man. So that's what I mean by that, Eric. I think Minnesota has positioned themselves. They had a tough playoffs last year. I think they're in a position now. Again, just my opinion. I'm a FairWeather fan.
No, I'm not gonna let you get away with that.
That
was great.
I'm gonna let him get away with this one.
You're gonna let him get away with
the guy we need to talk. The guy we need to talk to is JP, because JP, he's grown up his whole life. He's from Minnesota, and he's been following the team since he's been in diapers. So I definitely want to hear his take on it as well. So, but I think Minnesota's. Bobby, what do you think, man? Am I wrong? Am I way off?
You know, the thing about Minnesota, I think they have all the pieces, and I know JP is going to come with the real truth. But they have everything that we've been discussing about moving a team forward. I'm not talking about the Mavericks just because we beat them, but they went through the trenches to get to this point. And I think they're ready to go ahead and move forward another step. So I wouldn't be surprised if hey, David, if that comes true, because D-Wade, they're a solid team, and I just think they have the experience now, being at the top, not getting over the top, but they're ready to compete. And again, the West is, I don't know, Golden State is going to be that team that has that grit, that want to grind all the way through like a young, hungry team.
It's a nasty gauntlet, man. As J-Dub says, it is a nasty gauntlet.
So then I look at the energy level. Who's going to be able to sustain that energy level? It may just come down to, what's left in the bucket out of 7 games. But I wouldn't be surprised. But I would be very interested to hear what JP has to say, because
JP, what your team was going to do?
You guys know the last time that a Minnesota, one of our Pro four big sports teams, made a finals? So like Super Bowl, NBA Finals. What was the last time? Anybody know?
Mm-mm.
Can't think of any Vikings. Can't think of any Twins. Can't think of any Timberwolves.
You're gonna count the WNBA team, the Lynx?
Minnesota was there last year.
1991, when the Twins won the World Series.
Whoa!
Well, Kirby.
Shut the front door.
We had 3 sports teams at that time. The Wild became a team in 2000. If you add up all, and I did this as a presentation in college, by the way. If you add up the number of seasons for all those teams since 1991, at the time when I did it, it was like 135 seasons. The city with the second most was Cincinnati with like 68, and they only have 2 teams. It's by far the most losing city of sports teams ever, anywhere. And so to think that the Wolves are going to make the finals is just absolute insanity. But if you look at beating the Warriors, I don't see why the Wolves wouldn't win this in 6 or 7.
Okay.
It's an extension of the Lakers to a point. I think the Wolves are younger and they are hungrier. I think Steph will shoot well, and he'll shoot them into a game. If the Wolves go 7 for 47 from 3, I don't think they're going to win that game the same way they can beat the Lakers like that. But I think Wolves in 6 or 7 is reasonable. Then you look at the Thunder, the Nuggets, but losing to one of those teams wouldn't surprise me at all. So no, I would not take the Wolves out to make it out of the West right now.
So Simba, so when you look at the rosters for the Warriors and look for the roster for the Timberwolves, I'm going Jimmy Butler and Ant-Man, right? Then you got Steph Curry. There's nobody that Minnesota can have that can got him. Julius Randle is MIA. We don't know what Julius Randle is going to show up to the team, right? The biggest thing for the Warriors is that they're undersized, obviously with Rudy Gobert, but he's been MIA. He came up and played for them that last game against the Lakers, but he can be a non-factor for this game.
Listen, Derek, man. Listen, Derek.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that the Minnesota can't win this game, but Simba, when you look at matchups, you know what I'm saying, what are the pros and cons of both teams that they have going into this matchup, this second round?
I think for the Timberwolves, it's going to be how they cover a ball screen. Like, are they going to like pre-switch it? Are they going to run up somebody to pre-switch before Rudy can even get up there so he can protect the rim? Or are they going to leave him in the action? And I think if they leave him in the action, they're cooked. I'm not going to lie. Because if he's left in the action, that means Draymond's in the short row and he can just have a field day and do whatever he wants. If the Warriors can play like that, they're going to win the series. But I think obviously the size plays a major factor for the Timberwolves. Are they going to be able to box out, offensive rebound? If Rudy can get 24 rebounds again, then it's going to be hard to beat them. Like it's just going to be hard to beat that team if he gets 9 offensive rebounds and 24 overall rebounds. So I think the matchup also with Julius Randle is going to be big. I'm assuming Draymond is probably going to guard him.
Yeah.
But I don't know who would guard Rudy, though. Like, are they going to be big enough to box him out every single possession? Like,
or even Naz Reid, too, is big, too. He's in on the glass, too. You got too many people to box out.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting on. Yeah.
I could see Post playing a lot for the Warriors. I could see him playing a bunch.
Yeah.
I could see him playing a bunch, kind of matching Rudy's minutes maybe in some situations. But
he seems kind of lost out there. The last couple times we've seen him in the games, the last series, he acts like he doesn't know where to go. And I get it. He's young, playing against some superstars, but I mean, I don't have any confidence in him being able to help.
So EC, you got Golden State in this series?
No, I have whoever wins.
FairWeather all the way, baby.
Yeah, thank you. You've got
Simba. You got Minnesota.
I'm gonna go with Golden State.
I got Minnesota. J-Dub.
I got Minnesota in 5 or 6, but I want to comment something on what Simba said. So in the last series, Minnesota beat the Lakers physically. Okay. You can easily beat Golden State physically, but I don't know that you can beat them mentally as easily. Like you're talking about the short screens and, playing, keeping Rudy outside of the paint. Me and Coach were just talking about this. If they can keep, if Draymond can have a halfway decent shooting series, then Rudy has to come out. He can't stay in there. So, but with all that being said, I know it would add to their legacy, yada yada yada. But I got Minnesota in 5.
JP's got Minnesota. Bobby, who you got in this series?
Yeah, I have to go with Minnesota, and that's because I am a FairWeather fan on this.
Okay. So it's 4-2 on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Jonathan G is going with the Wolves as well.
Jonathan G.
But I would be rooting for any team Anthony Edwards plays for. That's my dog. Yeah. I like his attitude. I like his spirit. I like his game. I like the fact that he doesn't stop talking. I love all that.
Yeah, you let me down, man. I thought you were going to take Minnesota, man.
All right, then, so let's go with.
It's just hard for me to go against because for some reason every time when the Warriors go up against a team who's a problem stylistically, they always find a way to just neutralize it. They always find a way to neutralize the big.
That's
true.
That's something that they've yet to show me that Rudy Gobert is not a dominant enough big to where like he'll just flip flop the series like that. And the only way I don't know. They do have enough defenders to like switch who can guard Steph too, which is like another thing that a lot of teams don't have. But then again, it's Steph, so it don't really matter who you put on.
So who's going to win this
That
series?
was proven in the last series. It didn't.
So
Didn't matter.
yesterday we got how in the world did OKC lose that game? I don't understand.
I turned it off with 10 seconds left, and then I saw
I don't understand. I just like Bobby. You got anything for this? I don't know.
I'm not a big believer in OKC. I'm not.
I'm not either, Bobby. I'm not either, brother.
For whatever reason, I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't have that belief in them getting over the top like that. And it, the last few years, I thought it was more of a size, problem in the middle, where as you advance, if you have a decent big person in the middle, I think there's opportunities for that person to make a difference in the game. And I've always wondered about their size. They was always lean, tall and thin. You know what I mean? Getting pushed around on the inside when you needed an inside game where the outside game wasn't there. And I think as a 7-game series, coaches figure out that's one thing that's not going to change your size in a 7-game series. You're gonna if you're thin and lean, you're gonna be thin and lean throughout the series. So I don't care what you do for as coaching, matchups and things like that. Sometimes it just comes down to guys pushing you around on the inside, and I think that's what OKC has been suffering from. Now they did add what's the guy in the middle that plays kind of in the middle. He's to me is more of a 4.
Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
Holmgren.
Yeah, he's too thin for me to get be banging around in there. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at Minnesota to be that team that come. I just think I know JP, you're not a believer. I was there in 2006, the Mavericks. That was a heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker.
The 2011 helped me heal from that a little bit. But we went through the same thing. I just think we didn't have those guys in the middle to bang when it comes down to those bang plays. You know what I mean? And I just don't, I'm not just a big believer in OKC. They have to show that to me.
That's what's up. I am a believer in OKC, and I think yesterday was a fluke. This is gonna probably be the best matchup I think in this whole series. They just got to get more of the bench going. Casey Wallace played 21 minutes, only came out with 3 points. He's got to play better. Same way with ISO Joe, Isaiah Joe out there. He got to do something better. Alex Caruso came out and did the best he can. But all their starters got in double figures, man. But they got Nikola Jokic, man, 42 points, man. That's like the best player in the NBA by far. But I still think the MVP go to SGA. I made a comment.
After that, DC.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Do you think the fact they could have been killing them on the inside and they didn't do that until like the end of the game? They started, being inside the paint. That was my problem with the game too.
Yeah.
That's where I think he would get better at even. I mean, what for is the team. Because I think that's one of the things that was forgotten in that. You know what I mean? That's just my thought. I just want to get your take on that.
I mean, that's when Nikola Jokic is one of those guys that you cannot go to sleep on him.
Exactly.
He's a big man, and when you got a guy who can play from the top of the key all the way to the paint, who can shoot threes, who can take the ball off the dribble, who's a darn good facilitating passer. And if that game is teetering between 10 points, within 10 points, he can win it for you. And it's so crazy because he's not athletic, but he's not a bad defender. He's not a shot blocker, but he does things that disrupt the shot.
He stays in front of you.
Exactly.
The one thing I saw different in him last night, he was over there getting into the team's face. Hey, I hadn't seen. Maybe you guys have seen. I haven't watched a lot of those games, but I've never seen a Joker go over there and like getting in these guys' face. Like, this is what we need to do now.
I've seen him do other players like that. Let me tell you, that dude is scary. He's a very, very mean person.
Hey, E.
What's up, Doc?
Hop off and jump on another call, but I think Denver wins that series. I think it probably me and Bobby are alone on. I think you other You other
Denver. What are you talking about? I've been screaming Denver. Oh, that's what I'm rooting for anyway.
Yeah, Bob. I think E and Simba and JP. Y'all probably thinking OKC's gonna win this.
Yeah, OKC gonna win it all. Okay.
No, you don't think Simba?
No, I got Denver in this series.
I got Denver
And
too.
so OKC,
I got OKC winning this.
So Denver doesn't want to see 7 games. That I can tell you, because OKC is going to keep the pedal to the floor for 7 games. And if Denver were to win a game 7, they're going into the next round exhausted.
Yeah.
So Denver wants to finish it as quickly as possible. If OKC wins, it's because they ran Denver out of the building. But then you got boys on Denver who can still. I mean, even at an old age, Russ is still out there doing his thing. Aaron Gordon is still athletic as he could be. You know, Jamal, even after his injuries, is still good. So it's just Joker. It's just Joker being slow, but he's slow enough for all of them.
Yeah. I got a jam, guys. Y'all take it home, man. I'll talk to y'all later.
Okay,
all right, Coach.
All right, Coach.
So my whole deal with OKC and Denver, I think the fact that Denver is still dealing with an interim coach right now, the discipline aspect is going to carry them, is going to hurt them in the playoff series, because this is where a playbook, this is where being around a team for all season, this with knowing your players and being a guy in the background are different from being that guy who know that they respect their coach of an OKC. They lost game 1. It's, just like Cleveland lost game 1, right? So Cleveland this team down right now, those things happen, right? So I'm really, really sold out on OKC winning this series.
So you think Mike Malone needs all the credit for the ring they have? Is that what you just said? That's kind of what I heard anyway.
Yeah. I don't even want to jump in that conversation because that'll get me all upset all over again. But the worst, dumbest decision.
I agree with the decision.
I don't know. You don't know. I mean, whatever issues you got with your coach, you gotta hold it in.
That.
Hold that in and get through this season. That just don't make no sense. The only way this works, because forget the front offices, forget everybody around. What is the players? The ones who actually, what if the players saying get rid of them? I get it. But if the players are caught off guard, be like, because we got to go out there and do the job. Fire me next year. But right now we got a job to do. Let us finish the job. That's just my take on that. All right, then. So Simba, you got the Nuggets. Who all got the Nuggets? I got Golden State.
Nuggets in 6.
Nuggets in 6. Okay. Jada, who you got?
I like Nuggets in 6. Nuggets in 6 sounds good. When they stole game 1, I could see Nuggets in 5.
Okay. JP?
Nuggets 6 or 7. I just have flashbacks of seeing random role players hitting threes every time Jokic passes the ball, and I don't have good memories of that from last year. So Nuggets in 6 or 7.
All right, then, Bobby, who you got? Nuggets as well?
I like the Nuggets in 5, and I don't think it was a steal last night. I think they won the game, and I'm going with 5.
Okay. I'll be the long. I'll be the long.
That means you're gonna win, Eric. That means OKC's gonna win this series.
Look,
there were too many people.
G said he think the Nuggets gonna take the West. So. But I want you fans out there to know this one thing about what we just did. I reserve the right to change my mind. So
So halfway through the next game.
I like that.
I will be having my Denver jersey on if they would pull this thing out.
I like that.
All right, then. So I made a comment, and of course Jada heard me make this comment. I don't know if Simba heard, but I'm gonna leave it up to Bobby and JP. Am I crazy or not? We made a bold comment early, and I said that the Boston Celtics will not make the Eastern Conference Finals. And then we saw what happened last night. You know what I'm saying? They folded under pressure against the Knicks. Is that a bold statement, or that could be accurate, or I could be right on that? I don't know.
That's a bold statement. Very bold statement.
You didn't think about it? You didn't let it just
No, because you have to really think about the game that was played yesterday. Like one, okay, I'm not making excuses. New York played a great game. Jalen Brunson showed up. Mikal Bridges showed up. OG showed up. They did everything they're supposed to do for that time.
Yeah.
But Porzingis got hurt at halftime, and Boston missed 45 threes.
45.
When is that ever going to happen again? I feel like. And they only won by 3 points. They won by 3 points.
Yeah.
So,
in overtime, yeah.
So I just think like all of those factors had to go that way for New York to win. I feel like the odds are against them. And I do think the series is over in 5. I think that's the only game.
I got a series over in 5 going to New York.
What?
So I'm gonna be on New York's bandwagon forever for my whole life, but I got the series over in 6 going to Boston.
Yeah. and my take on
And it's only because Karl Anthony Towns will never be the person I want him to be. He wasn't that person in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's still not that person in New York. And I don't know for the life of me why. I guess it's his Kentucky Wildcat blood coming out in him. But no, the Celtics are going to win this series as much as I don't want them to.
Well, I have to pick New York because I said that Boston won't make the conference final, so I have to pick New York.
You're stuck.
I got stuck.
What's your reasoning for saying that?
Because I don't like Boston.
I don't either.
No. For those out there listening and who've been following the show, I've heavily critiqued Boston over the years because up until last year, this team is always disappointed.
Yeah.
I think one of the best teams that was organically assembled in my lifetime. The best team has been organically assembled in my lifetime, and it always falls short. And I was so upset with them for so long to his point. You know what? I don't believe you anymore. And then they end up winning last year against my Mavericks. So that just I'm all the way pissed off. The one coverage you could have beat Golden State, but no, you crumbled on Golden State, but you beat our Mavericks. This is terrible. So I'm salty right now.
So let me ask you this: with both teams, which one could play better that you honestly feel that could play better from that game that we saw last night at an optimal level? Because Boston, New York played their best game last night.
Yeah.
Considering that these guys took 45 or so threes, and not that they were close on it, they're missing the threes where
absolutely
they never come around to like, hey, you know what? Maybe we shouldn't shoot threes. Maybe we can punish them or attempt to go inside. That was never brought up. And I just believe they won't make that mistake again. And they will play better. And I just don't think New York will be able to elevate their game that much better to overcome what Boston can really do when they're rolling.
So, Bobby, here's what I saw last night, right? I saw a lack of confidence from New York, but I saw a extra level of confidence from Boston, right? So I think if New York can boost up their confidence a little bit more, and then Boston at least get back to playing, because that 45 that was they just jacking up shots because they know they can make them, right? And then they overconfident lost the game, right? But if New York can build up on a little bit more confidence, I think they can make a great series out of it, right? I mean,
and I don't think New York played their best game. New York
they didn't play their best game. No,
Brunson missed. What did he miss? 14 shots, and
he missed a lot in the last
game. Think about it. Since when do we have a point guard with seconds left on the clock in both at the end of regulation as well as overtime with your back to the basket at the top of the key? That's fear.
Yeah,
right.
You don't play that way.
I'm talking about the game within the game last night. If both teams would have played better, I think first of all, they wouldn't have been shooting jump shots. Threes. That's what I'm talking about. If they'd adjusted, which they had the opportunity to do so, they never did. That's what I was speaking within the game last night.
Yeah. Boston could have won that game if they like I said, just played within it. Yeah, they would have won that game.
My knees back.
But Jalen Brunson shoots a floater. That's like you're there to the basket. You calling for the ball on the wing. That's an easy catch, backboard shot. You win that game right there. But you goes up and then because you see the big guy, he's already there, right? So one like a surprise, right? You goes and take a floater. I know that is a fear shot. That is, oh my God, let me get this in because you don't just regularly practice floater unless you're Stephen Curry, who does that all the time, right? But Jalen, either shoot that shot or go in and take a chance to get in the end one or get in the foul with those last seconds. And that was that's just lack of focus, understanding what the game is on the line, just all that, So if they don't button that up, then they're gonna get swept in the series, and then I'll have to change my perspective after that. So
I think Jason Tatum settled for like 4 possessions in a row.
Yeah.
Just shoot and pull up threes. I feel like if he just put his head down and go to the basket, like that's the difference in the game right there. Those 4 possessions where he decided to pull up for 3, he just puts his head down and goes.
Do you want the ball in his hand at the end of the game?
I don't mind the ball in his hand. Like I don't mind it, but it's either him or Jaylen Brown.
Well, who would you prefer?
I want Jaylen
Brown.
Brown. I want Jaylen Brown all
yeah.
day. Jaylen Brown's one of my favorite players who have ever played this game.
Yeah.
I think Jason last year when Jason kind of gave Jaylen more of his spotlight is when they found all that success. But he wasn't shooting well either. He was 1 for 10 from the 3-point line. So everybody was off. And I get that, but that doesn't change the fact that I'm rooting for.
Right.
I like Jaylen more too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jason Tatum, we know he's a prolific scorer. We know what he can do, right? But he can be easily, you can easily figure him out. You know what I'm saying?
He doesn't have the mental strength that Jalen's got at all.
You can make
Not
him
even
shoot.
Close.
You can make him shoot. Now he can make them, but you can make him shoot. Jalen, you don't know what he's going to do. He will put that ball on the rack for you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everybody, we all cool with Cleveland. So this series, I already know that I'm going to, but New York will win. So Cleveland, man, was it a fluke last night? On Monday, what was that? Sunday, where they played?
So I'm gonna take this real quick, and I think y'all can attest to what I'm finna say. So Indiana just got out of a fight, right? They were scrapping.
Yeah.
Cleveland had a cakewalk. So there is some layover from the previous series to the next series, right? You got a team that's firing on all cylinders, and you got a team that's been chilling at the house. And then and it was strange. Weren't they a 9-point favorite as well? I know both games last night were 9.5 and 10.5 points, but I think Cleveland was like a 9-point favorite. So I think that becomes billboard material for at least the game one game. Now, when everybody settles into their rhythms and stuff like that, everything changes. But I think that was a sign of Cleveland being off for extra days and Indiana just coming out of a fight.
Yeah.
I think Indiana's a little bit underlooked. Go ahead, JP.
Well, I was going to say
underlooked.
Same thing happened last night too. Although the Thunder started hotter, Nuggets just came out of a fight and Thunder were cakewalk. But different start to that game. Cavs are up 11 at halftime now, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if they just need to 9-point favorites again, they just close that one out, and then it's even at least. Go ahead, Simba.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Indiana is underlooked because they have like a soft persona on their team name. When I really think they're really tough. Like they have a lot of good players. Like Nembhard is a dog. They have a bunch of dogs on their team, and one thing that's overlooked, I think, is you might look at Tyrese. I know he was voted most overrated player or whatever by other players, but I mean, how can you get mad at a point guard who can shoot 40%? I was one of those people. I didn't really like Tyrese that much. I was like, what does he do that's that good? Right. But he doesn't turn the ball over. He gets a lot of assists, and he shoots 40%. I feel like that is part of the reason why they're successful. Like they don't get the ball up, so they're shooting the ball every single time, so they're getting more possessions. So I do think that they're a little bit overlooked, but I do think the Cavs come out with this one.
I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, or we can either agree to disagree. When I look at Tyrese Halliburton, I see that he's a household name because people just know him, right? But then when I look at what I see from him from other superstars, I can see why the fan base are like, he's overrated. Because he's not consistently the best player on his team. Because you're looking at Pascal Siakam as well as Miles Turner, that typically sometimes are the best players on that squad. And so when you look at Tyrese Halliburton, it's like, okay, he can have that one good game, be like, oh my God, but then you just don't see him, right? Now I will say this, give him a little grace. That's how he plays, right? So, that's who he is. That's how he plays. So, but I'm just trying to speak for some of the fans out there who may. I mean, it's okay to question a player like that. When you want a guy to be consistent every night. I mean, anybody want to take a shot at that? Tyrese Halliburton and his daddy?
He had 0
That's
points.
a whole different story, man. Those are two different stories.
No, right?
We don't have time. You don't have time for that one. But I agree with you. I honestly forget about it. When we're planning, he might show up. I'm talking about the Mavs and Pacers. Yeah. We don't see the matchup with those guys, no matter who's on that squad. But they always seem like they're due for a win. But he's one of those players that I would like to have. He kind of reminds me of a Nigel Marshall. He's a good guy to have on the squad, but you're not looking at him to win the game every night for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's that much needed player to help you win the game. And so he may get the accolades one night and do some things that's maybe not sexy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Man, that's just what I was fixing to say.
You know what I'm saying? So, well, you go ahead and take it from there, man.
Hey, Jay.
No, I'm just saying he doesn't. He's not Anthony Edwards. He ain't dunking over people. He ain't prime Steph launching from the logo. He just goes out there and does his job.
Yeah.
And that's what all the Pacers are. Y'all said Siakam and Nihal, all them boys. They just go out there and play ball. So I agree. This team is way overlooked. I think Carlisle has them playing together and doing very well. But so there's got to be a Rocky in every playoff, and they're the Rocky for this one. They keep taking shots and they keep giving shots.
Yeah.
All right, then. So, Simba. So, do you think Donovan Mitchell, as he get ready to play the Pacers, do you think he's sitting around at home and with his team in practice, like, man, that Halliburton, man, we gotta watch that guy, man. Hey, man, that dude. Hey, you think he's doing that? Oh man, Halliburton, man. Hey, we gotta figure out a game plan. You think the coach was drawn up? They think got his picture on the wall, throwing darts at it or something? What? Are they afraid of that dude?
I think the thing that teams probably fear the most with Halliburton is just slowing him down, not letting him get in transition, and then getting his teammates involved. I feel like if you allow him to do that, like they're a very dangerous team. But if you make him like, all right, you're gonna beat us one-on-one, like you're gonna have to score on us like every single time. I feel like their danger definitely goes lower and lower and lower because a lot of the guys on their team, they rely on Tyrese to get them shots.
Yeah.
They rely on him to like get them open looks and get them in their sets. So he's definitely a floor general, and I don't think that they're necessarily like he can like himself can beat us, but I feel like if he can get in his game and his bag and what he does best, he can beat you like that.
Absolutely.
Like if he's getting boards and pushing the tempo and doing all that, then he can beat you like that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. All right, then. So who you got out of the series?
Cavs in 6.
Cavs in 6. Who you got, J-Dub?
Cavs in 6. Sounds good to me too.
All right. JP.
I don't want to copy exactly, so I'll go Cavs in 7.
All right.
No, it could be Cavs in 6 full sweep, baby. Come on now.
Who you got, Bobby B?
I think Cavs in 6 too.
I got Cavs in 5. I think they don't lose another game. Cavs in 5. All right.
But
I reserve the right to change my mind.
Indiana plays very well at home, all the way back to Reggie Miller. They are a very good home team. They show up there for them. So they're going to win at least one game in Indiana, or I would think so anyhow.
Yeah. Y'all, it's been fun, y'all. That's all we have for today. I know you guys got other things to do, man. We're going to continue to watch this Cavs game and see if we're all right. They win this game right tonight. But Simba, you got any closing remarks?
No, I mean my Lakers are out of it, so I really don't got much.
I'm so sorry. Go Mavs.
Yeah,
I'm not
As
sorry.
long as Boston don't win, I'm good with whoever. As long as
All right, J-Dub, what you got? With last
But I'll backdoor that. Let's go Knicks. Let's get Boston out of there quick. Man, let's go Stars. Let's go Metroplex.
All right, then JP, who you got?
Go Wolves. Hope the Stars don't win. And Leeds are back in the Premier League. So it's a big week for me.
I love it. All right, then, baby, who you got? What's your last
go Timberwolves, and shout out to Nico. Lakers went down. Nothing personal, Simba, but I'm good with that. I'm good with the black and your boys not being in there. I'm a Steelers fan. I was about to say black and gold, but I'm happy that you guys invited me to this. It's been fun, man.
All right, my last word, y'all. Bryce Perkins. I just want to throw that name out there. Bryce Perkins. I don't know. I think he played for like Arizona sometime way back in the day. But I was watching the UFL for the first time this season, and man, the Michigan Panthers went out there and Bryce Perkins played an NFL type game.
Oh, wow.
Man, if you missed the game on Saturday, I mean, it's a Sunday, man. I understand it's UFL, right? Nobody cares, right? But I do, right? But that's my first watch it, and man, this kid he kind of reminded me of a Lamar Jackson, not the Baltimore Lamar Jackson, but the Louisville Lamar Jackson when I saw out there. He's a baller, so I mean, he's an older guy, so don't know if his chances making it to the NFL is gone now, but he did look good. So UFL, they've really been picking up the play. They're really, really playing some real, real good football out there. So
Let me say one thing about the UFL. One thing everybody should watch just to see some of the camera angles they get. They got a camera on the running back as he's hitting the hole.
Yeah.
They have all sorts of crazy stuff. I mean, so it's mediocre football, but it's top-notch camera angle, I promise you.
Well, since EC mentioned a quarterback, I'm a Steelers fan and I let slip out. I have to watch because we need a quarterback.
Y'all need a quarterback.
Wait. Hold on. First of all, Southpaw, man, thank you for just randomly while watching the video, man. We appreciate you, man, for just logging in and taking a chance at us, man. If you want, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. We'd love to have you on the show, man. Thank you, Southpaw, for watching. Wait a minute, Bobby B. You don't like Will Howard? That's your guy. He just won a championship.
We're about to bounce.
We gonna tune in. Hey, we definitely gotta run it back. We gotta run it back. We gotta run it back, Bobby B, because that was the guy I predicted all last year that they need to get, and they got my guy. So I'm with that. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all. This been your boy EC22, the FairWeather Fan channel, man. Before we go any further, please like, subscribe, share, leave comments, join the conversation. For all of you out there, Z-Man, Jonathan G, Southpaw, man, thank you. Corey Patterson, where you at? We've been missing you, bro. Man, you guys continue to tune in, man. Continue to watch. Continue to show us love, man. And thanks to our guests, man, Bobby B, JP, and Simba always. J-Dub and Coach, man, we appreciate you guys. Once again, y'all, thanks for joining. Tune in next week, Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central Time, and we are out.